Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for another Toulouse Sevens live stream. This one's South Africa taking on the USA. Now, South Africa in their first game up against France, they did struggle a little bit. They managed to bounce back brilliantly, though, up against the Flying Fijians. Whereas for the USA, they were also defeated by France, but they got themselves the draw with Fiji. So this game is extremely important for both of these teams, and the winner almost guarantees themselves the spot in the next stage. Looking through at South Africa's starting lineup, it will be Savue Soyas Wapi, Impi Visa, also Christia Horobala, DeWalt Uman, Mfundo Ndlovu, Ronald Brown, and Sean Williams, the last man in that starting side. Then for the USA, Steve Thomasine, Joe Schroeder, who has been playing very well throughout this Toulouse Sevens competition, David Still, Kevon Williams, Faitala Talapusi, Malachi Esdale, and Lucas Lecamp, the man who did score the very first try for the USA in this Toulouse competition. The South Africans, a massive turnaround, 31 points to 7 they lost up against France. They then fired back and won 24 points to 7 over the Fijians, whereas they had their first game in the draw for the USA, and then up against France, just narrowly losing the US. The US are not confirmed. South Africa, they are not confirmed, but France are. They have got number one spot. It's just that question of who will be the next side to make their way through. It's going to be the US to kick off this one. Talapusi about to get us underway. And now, this game, getting on. Terrible way to start the match, but there we go. We are underway now. Good kick by the US. Bounces in the field of play. Goes into touch inside of the South African 22. And now it is going to be the Blitzboks who have got themselves the lineup. But currently, I have to say that the speed of South Africa is something to watch out for in the early stage of the match, but they also have that little bit of size with someone like an Impi Visa also out on the field, but nicely taken by Impi Visa there. Going back across, I almost said Herschel Yankees there, but it was Ronald Brown. Now Ndlovu almost making his way through, but Lucas Camp drags him down. Now, big run from Ronald Brown, and when he gets a bit of space, he certainly takes off. It's a foot race between him and Talapusi, and I don't think Talapusi is going to be able to stop him. So now it's the case of Ronald Brown just running in the try, puts the ball down, and the South Africans score themselves the first try of the contest. Good luck, Blitzboks. And come on, Blitzboks. I think you were their lucky charm, Grant. As soon as you came in, Ronald Brown started sprinting down the wing and managed to get himself the try. Got a lot of strapping on that leg. Go the US, says Mumbo Jumbo Kiwi. Of course, even the loser of this game, maybe? No, not really. They don't really have a chance, I don't think. Not if it's the USA. If it's South Africa, they also don't have a chance. The winner of this game needs it. So we stay on live from here. That 4 a.m. game, Hamish says the snooze pretty much, although we've got a couple gaps in between. Next game is on at 12:10 a.m. New Zealand time. And then after that, our next game's at 1:55 a.m. New Zealand time. But we are going to be scheduling some live streams beforehand. We're hoping to do one of the quarterfinal fixtures, which I believe might actually work out to be New Zealand versus Ireland just before Leinster versus Munster. And timeout for the US says, lose Nate. And have the US ever been in the Bockies? I believe so in the past. The US had a really good patch of form a little while ago. And they were beating everyone. Now, Joe Schroeder, big shot on him. The USA now have the ball in our Malachi Esdale. Always reminds me of like an 80s basketball player from back in the day, and he's got the fend away, and he is going to be scoring the first try of the match for the USA. And now if only my mojo could work for the Stormers, says Grant there. And who do we pick? Yeah, Hamish, says Nazi. Oh, this is a hard one to pick. I was going to say South Africa after the way that they started, but now that I've seen that the USA, when they get a little bit of space, I think this game's going to be decided by 7 or less. And I'm not sure what way it's going to go, to be honest, which is why I'm so excited to see who takes it out. Just quickly looking at the URC, because I know that you mentioned the Stormers. They are heavy favourites, aren't they, in their upcoming contest? United Rugby Championship. Stormers come in as $1.17 favourites. They are more of a favourite than Leinster are over Munster. So that is quite a bit of pressure on the Stormers, but hopefully they are able to deliver. And Box versus the Yanks, let's go, says Mako Vanapola. Now, the kick is successful from the US, whereas the Blitzboks, they did miss their conversion 3.5 minutes remaining in this first half, and it is Talapusi once again who will that one off. Every time I say that man's name, I'm worried YouTube are going to age restrict me. Now, Sawyer's Wapi does nicely. Take that ball, a little bit of a counter ruck from David Still. A tackle made by Steve Thomasin. Wald Uman. Going back across now to Safibe Sawyer's Wapi ball on the outside. Sean Williams decides against using Unglovu and instead will take contest. Taken down by Lucas Lecamp, and that will actually be the penalty over the US. Chris Wiles was a great winger. Played for Surrey's. Says Mumbo Jumbo in there. Currently, as the pool sits, the USA would be sitting on 6 points. They would be ahead of South Africa. So, yeah, whoever wins this game gets one of the two spots available, I believe, unless Fiji dominate. And I mean dominate the French. It's the only way that one of these other sides might get themselves that sneaky spot in the top. So it's more of the case of it's a battle of the three sides. France are safe. Ball is going to be fed in now for the US. Available off the back. Kayvon Williams now putting the ears back. Goes off to Malachi Esdale. Picked up. That's above the horizontal. So that will be a penalty in their favour. Wall Human asking about it. And it's going to be a yellow card as well. He's going, me? Yes, you. You tried to dump him on his head. And inhaling the herb from De Cones. See the Marco there. I was trying to think of something that sounded like a lot more family friendly in that case, but I don't think I could think of much in that scenario. But yeah, tipping him up. Lovu actually helped Esdale not land on his head because he grabbed the ball and pulled. Just kind of flipped him over. But Uman looks completely confused about that. Even though he did tip him up on his head. Now Kevin Williams. Ball fed out the back for the USA. South Africa, they are going to have to defend with 6, which is going to be tricky. Nice pass on the outside to Esdale. Was it forward? I think it was. Or was it? Yes, it was. Forward pass. 100 seconds left. Be disappointed with that one. The USA, very dangerous with the way that they do attack. But yeah, Lucas Lecamp's last pass not working out would be awesome in rugby once that cranks on over there. They have some amazing athletes, huge monsters, fast as two Wellses, says Marco. And yeah, it's just trying to convince them that that is what they want to play pretty much, isn't it? Because I guess for rugby, the more that the US get behind it, all of a sudden, if you get like a massive rugby league going in the US, that's maybe not as big as the NFL, but if they can grow it to the stage of being a really well-known one in the US, that comes with a lot of attention, a lot of opportunity for players. There's going to be a knock on there from both sides. I don't like that Ronald Brown, every time that he sees a knock on, has to look at the referee and go like this, as if the referee doesn't actually see what's happening. The referee, that's his job to see it. NFL guys, some freak athletes, a man very impressive. And where's Meathead George? Ripping up the paddock in his tractor? No, he is at home sleeping at the moment. Seeing as it is 12 p.m., he does not do the late night live streams. He goes to bed at a normal hour. He'll be up nice and early tomorrow. And I think we're actually going up the road for a bit of a trip, which is good. I mean, it will be nice after the big night that we are going to be having. We've only got another 1 or 2 Sevens live streams after this, and then 2 more rugby union games, which I know sounds like a lot, but that's not that much when you compare how much we have done for the day. Now, nice run from Ndlovu. Plus, they're good games of rugby, so that's always entertaining when the game's going well. Christy Horobala goes off to Ronald Brown now, doing a bit of a skip forward, doing some nice stepping. He's dragged down by Lucas Lecamp, who gets him around the bootlaces. And Ronnie B is just smelling something funky. Says Grant, you think he's just, he's trying to waft away the badness. That's going to be half time though. 5 points to 7, a close first half in anyone's game. Now, I am going to make a statement that I know is a big one, but also may not be the case. So, if South Africa lose this game, which I'm not saying they will, before everyone gets angry, if South Africa lose this game, that would mean of the Singapore semi-finalists, maybe only New Zealand make their way through. Of the 4 sides, Samoa missing out, Fiji missing out, South Africa missing out. I think the quarterfinal playoff games for ninth place are going to be pretty awesome. We might see Fiji taking on Samoa. We might see South Africa taking on the Flying Fijians again after their last performance. Monster Creatures out the African Safari, volume 1 to 50. But you, Nate, much love. And man, they got monsters. There's Nazi there as well. Yeah, the Argentines, they do qualify for the Olympics. Just celebrating that one. Road to Paris 2024. I have to say, Argentina are one of those sides with that feel-good story of going from a side that weren't really in contention to now being one of those sides that are undeniable as one of the top sides on the Sevens circuit. And they proved that in their last game, beating Great Britain 50-0. Sorry, Fleshin, but they did it. They beat them by the 50 points. You can see Luciano Gonzalez celebrating with his family there after that victory, but currently halftime in this one. Just about ready to get back underway. South African ladies watching on for the second half, hoping that their side make their way through. It's a flash iPhone. How many cameras does one phone need? My camera has got one, and it's half broken. Very unfortunate. It's got Hamish. I was going to lay it down, but your energy made me grab another beer. Your fault, mate, says Nazi. That just means you have enough energy for the final match, Nazi, of the Sevens. USA, or sorry, not USA, France versus Fiji. That will be a good game, though. I don't know how I have this much energy at this hour of the night, though. Every time I do these streams, I always expect to burn out at some point. It always comes later in the night than it actually happens, though. Or than I expect. Lucas at camp now, driving up the middle. Ronald Brown makes a tackle on him. It doesn't look like it's very wet out there on the Toulouse field. It looks like it's quite dry and that you might get a bit of grass burn when you get tackled and slid along the ground. But now David's still out with the Impy Veza one-on-one. 3 versus 3. Of course, numbers on their back, not the players. Now, back across, Thomasine goes to Kevin Williams. Ball on the outside. A lot of pressures there on Lucas Lecamp, but he breaks out of the tackle of Ronald Brown. That looks like it could have been, that's when Ronald should have been doing his knock-on thing because there was one in there, but it's going to be the penalty now to South Africa. Excuse our smoke, guys, and get us in trouble. I do take the plane. Nice run there from Impy Veza. In fact, it's going to be Christy Robala who gets through, scores the first try of the second half, and it is the Blitzboks who managed to get it. Also, I'm nervous as for the World Cup, I think the AB's players, Jason Ryan, Schmidt's influence too. It's just the head man in charge of that, Aussie. It's going to be interesting to see who he selects, and I hope that some of those assistant coaches do give him a bit of advice in terms of who to go with. Hopefully it works out all right. If South lose, Hamish, it'll be like when my daughter said, "How do you find that passion, Dad?" You find it when you represent our flag, is where mine is. Says the snooze. Well, that's the thing. I feel like no matter who's losing these rugby games, it sounds really weird to say, but because I've spent so long being impartial in these matches, I feel like the loss at this time seems significant. But then because we do so many games, my brain just goes, okay, we'll forget about that one. We're moving on to the next one. So, like, the Chiefs losing, massive win for the Reds. Next week, I'll probably forget what happened. The players are even awesome, but Fozzie, it's him. He doesn't give me confidence. Even in the interviews, he came across as weird, boring, disorganized lack. Trust in him. Yeah, Marco, but currently now the USA, they did have that ball, but it was ripped away illegally by Justin Gerdald. Also, Marco, put a word in for number one fans here at Kiwi Lads. Get interviewed. Here's a mumbo jumbo, and also reload. Boys get the knives on for Decuzzies. Here's Marco. Going to be kick to touch from the USA. 45 meters out from their own line. This is still a very close game. All it would take is one more try for the USA, and we would be right on with a very close fixture. Going to be thrown in nicely taken there by the US. Couple new changes being made here for the USA as well, and that's going to be a mistake, but it's a knock on there, unfortunately, for Shilton Van Vick, who is almost through. I love Sam, just not sure he's at the level in 2023. There's Nazi Williams. Yeah, that's the thing. Sam Kane, great rugby player, great bloke. Is he the All Black Sevens or the All Black 7, though? I think a lot of people feel now he's slightly past it, which feels bad because of how much he's done for New Zealand rugby in terms of staying committed to them. So long, and when shall I come over? I'll book a flight for me and Reed from Auckland to Christchurch. There's Ollie in there. Well, it's very busy at the moment, that's for sure, with the Ashes coming up, cricket season just around the corner, Rugby World Cup on the cards. Certainly going to be a busy time. That's going to be a nice tackle made there on South Africa. Sorry, by South Africa. Lucas the camp now having to commit going to Christia Horrible. Once again, now going off to the left-hand side. Thomas seen one more pass here. This is looking strong. Good run. Ball on the outside. Here comes Malachi Esdale. Finding the space. Great low tackle made. And on the ball, Impivisa extremely unlucky not to get the turnover there. Big shot comes in. Massive one from Gerdold on the level would have been Falao. And he was saying ow after getting hit there by Gerdold. Now the South Africans will be able to slow it down just that little bit more. Falao, he never quite had it in his hands. And then Gerdold, when he put in the big shot, the ball bounced free. USA now, they have made quite a few changes. I do see that Aaron Cummings is on the field. Falau also, I think Anufe may have also made his way onto the park. And for the South Africans, we are still yet to see the Ricardo James Duarte at this point. They have got Shilton van Wyk up there, Ryan Oosterhuizen as well as Gerdold. Don't think James Murphy is on the field either. 2 minutes 30 remaining. South Africa deep inside of their own territory here, just on their 22. There's Ricardo James Duarte. Must have just made that sub ball on the outside to Gerdold. He has got the support run there, but tackled nicely. Now the USA trying to counteract the Ricardo James Duarte, trying to use his strength. A great pickup from DeWald Uman to keep it on the side of the South Africans. Now Ryan Oosterhuizen, an inside ball to DeWald Uman, and that might just secure the game for the Blitzboks. Second try of the match for DeWald Uman here. And imagine Cummings as a surname at school would be a tough one. Well, sorry, his first of the match for Uman there. I got a bit excited. Now 2 minutes remaining. South Africa will take a 12-point lead here. Nicely scored from Uman. No disrespect, says Nazi Williams in there. Now the kick is successful. 12 points difference. USA need 2 tries in 90 seconds to get themselves back into this contest. That man is dressed as a... I'm not sure what he's dressed as. There's a baby in his shirt. He's got an elephant on his head. He's wearing all pink with a singlet. No idea. And also, I love your pronunciation of the Safa names. Takes me a second to figure out who you're talking about. Am I getting them slightly wrong, Grant? I might be, to be fair. Like some of these Sevens names, I feel like don't roll off the tongue as well as the Union players. But then I think I also just talk too fast. That one's got into touch. Now South Africa with Ryan Oosterhuizen for this line out. Now only 46 seconds remaining. Yes, boys. There's Grant there as well. USA, they have got the Scrabble letters out there. All worth only the 1 point. If he flips it to the R, he's got South Africa on the other side. Very sneaky. Now, it's going to be swatted away. Nicely taken by Sean Williams. 20 metres out from the line. Ryan Oosterhuizen goes back across to Christy Horrible. Ricardo James Duarte sells the dummy. Doing very well to beat Cummings. Although now he is eventually wrestled down. Ball available for Shilton van Wyk. Now goes off. That's a rough pass from Gerdold. Wasn't quite ready for it on the outside. Now Sean Williams looks to the corner with the fend. He's over. And Sean Williams gets another for the South Africans. They will get the last laugh in this contest. And they are moving through now to the quarterfinals. Just have to wait to see exactly who they will be facing. I believe it's either Argentina or Great Britain. I don't know why Great got such an R. And cheers, Mumbo. On you, mate. Much love. Here's Marco there as well. It was a nice wide pass out to Sean Williams, just getting him running onto the ball, which gave him time to try and break through Thomasin and also Santos's tackle attempt. That will be the end of the game. The kick is unsuccessful, but the score 24 points to 7 in favour of the Blitzboks. So they will be going through. Not bad name, that Williams, says Nazi Williams. And yeah, the Blitzboks pulled it round, says Brian, and good try, says Nazi Williams. So yeah, they will now make their way through to the quarterfinals, ladies and gentlemen. Come on, SA, big win, says Rugby itch there. A massively important one. Although I should mention, I've been hyping it up as they'll make their way through to the quarterfinals. If Fiji beat France by a large margin, I believe it would actually be Fiji who make their way through. Maybe. We'll have to wait and see. Sorry, I might have got that a little bit wrong, but I believe at this stage South Africa are pretty safe in making their way through to the quarters. We will just have to wait for that next game just to be sure. But nonetheless, thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. I will see you all in 2 minutes' time for Fiji versus